Deep within the shadows of history lies an artifact so mysterious, so hauntingly beautiful, it has baffled scientists, historians, and even spiritual seekers for over a century. The Mitchell-Hedges crystal skull, a flawless, life-sized sculpture carved from a single block of clear quartz, is said to possess otherworldly powers. Some claim it can heal, reveal visions, or even unlock the secrets of lost civilizations. But here's the question that has sparked endless debate. Is this ancient crystal skull a genuine artifact from a forgotten world, or is it an elaborate hoax crafted by skilled hands in more recent times? Crystal skulls like this one have been linked to ancient cultures such as the Maya and Aztecs, revered as sacred objects with ties to the divine. Yet, despite their cultural significance, their origins remain shrouded in mystery. Could these crystal skulls truly be remnants of advanced ancient civilizations, carrying knowledge we've yet to uncover? Or are they simply masterpieces of modern craftsmanship designed to captivate and deceive? In this video, we'll dive deep into the enigma of the ancient crystal skulls. We'll explore their fascinating history, examine the scientific analyses that have been conducted, and uncover the enduring mysteries that continue to surround them. Join us as we embark on an investigative journey into one of history's most perplexing artifacts, a journey that may challenge everything you thought you knew about the past. The origins of crystal skulls are as mysterious as the artifacts themselves. These intricately carved objects, often made from clear or milky quartz, first began capturing the public's imagination in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Among the most famous is the Mitchell-Hedges skull, discovered in the 1920s by adventurer F.A. Mitchell-Hedges. Legend has it that his daughter, Anna, found the skull beneath an ancient altar in Belize, sparking fascination and endless speculation. Another notable example is the British Museum skull, which surfaced in the late 19th century under circumstances that remain unclear. These skulls, with their flawless craftsmanship and enigmatic presence, have fueled theories that they were created by ancient Mesoamerican civilizations like the Aztecs or Maya. Some believe they were used for healing, communication with the divine, or even as tools for spiritual rituals. Yet, despite these claims, there's a striking lack of concrete evidence linking them to any specific culture or time period. No archaeological records, no historical texts, nothing to definitively place them in ancient hands. This absence of proof raises an intriguing question. If these skulls aren't relics of lost civilizations, how did they come to be so deeply tied to the idea of ancient wisdom and power? The answer lies in the stories we've woven around them, stories that have grown over time, transforming these objects into symbols of mystery and intrigue. But what do these stories tell us about our own fascination with the past? And why do we feel such a strong pull toward these enigmatic artifacts? The cultural significance of crystal skulls goes far beyond their physical form, inviting us to explore not just their origins, but the deeper meaning we've assigned to them. The allure of crystal skulls isn't just rooted in their mysterious craftsmanship. It's the myths and legends that surround them that truly capture the imagination. Over the years, these enigmatic artifacts have been woven into tales of lost civilizations, extraterrestrial contact, and even ancient prophecies. For instance, some believe crystal skulls are relics of Atlantis, remnants of a highly advanced society that vanished beneath the waves. Others claim they're gifts from extraterrestrial beings, left behind as tools for humanity to unlock hidden knowledge. And then there are those who see them as powerful objects tied to ancient prophecies, capable of predicting the future or guiding humanity through pivotal moments in history. These stories, though varied, share one thing in common. They paint crystal skulls as more than just carvings. They're gateways to the extraordinary, modern audiences have embraced these myths with open arms, fueling their popularity in books, movies, and New Age spirituality. Films like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull brought these legends to the big screen, blending adventure with the idea of otherworldly powers. Meanwhile, spiritual communities often view crystal skulls as conduits for healing or energy amplification, believing they can channel cosmic forces or even unlock latent human abilities. It's fascinating how these objects, often shrouded in mystery, have become symbols of both wonder and possibility. But where do these ideas come from? Are they rooted in ancient traditions, or are they products of modern imagination? Some argue that the myths surrounding crystal skulls reflect humanity's eternal fascination with the unknown, our desire to believe in something greater than ourselves. Others suggest that these stories were embellished over time, transforming simple artifacts into objects of legend. Could there be any truth behind these tales, or are they purely the work of creative minds? As we peel back the layers of myth, we'll explore whether these captivating stories have any basis in reality, or if they're simply reflections of our enduring curiosity about the past. Among the many crystal skulls that have captured the world's imagination, none is more famous or more debated than the Mitchell-Hedges skull. Discovered in the 1920s by Anna Mitchell-Hedges, daughter of adventurer and explorer Frederick Albert Mitchell-Hedges, this crystal skull has become the centerpiece of countless discussions about ancient mysteries and modern controversies. According to the story, Anna unearthed the skull beneath the ruins of a Mayan temple in Belize, a discovery that has since been shrouded in both awe and skepticism. But is this artifact truly a relic of an ancient civilization, or is it something else entirely? The Mitchell-Hedges skull is undeniably striking. Carved from a single block of clear quartz, it stands out not only for its size but also for its remarkable craftsmanship. Unlike most other crystal skulls, this one features a detachable jawbone, a detail that adds to its mystique and complexity. The precision of its design is astonishing. Some experts argue that even with modern tools, replicating such a piece would be a monumental challenge. Yet, this very intricacy has fueled debates about its origins. Could the ancient Mayans, with the technology available to them, have created something so flawless? Or does this level of craftsmanship point to a more recent origin? Skeptics have long questioned the skull's authenticity, suggesting it might have been crafted in the 19th or even early 20th century. Some researchers point to the lack of documented evidence tying the skull to its supposed Mayan discovery. Others argue that the style of carving aligns more closely with European techniques than with known Mesoamerican art. Even Anna Mitchell-Hedges herself added layers of mystery to the story, as her accounts of the discovery evolved over time, leaving historians and archaeologists to piece together what really happened. What makes the Mitchell-Hedges skull so fascinating is not just its beauty or the questions surrounding its creation, but the way it embodies the broader debate about crystal skulls in general. Are these objects genuine artifacts from lost civilizations carrying secrets of the past, or are they elaborate hoaxes crafted to captivate and mystify? As we turn our attention to other notable crystal skulls, the Mitchell-Hedges skull serves as a powerful reminder of how history, myth, and mystery often intertwine, leaving us to wonder where the line between fact and legend truly lies. While the Mitchell-Hedges crystal skull often steals the spotlight, it's far from the only one of its kind. Scattered across the globe, other crystal skulls have fascinated historians, archaeologists, and curious minds alike. Take, for instance, the crystal skull housed in the British Museum. Carved from clear quartz and standing at about 6 inches tall, it's noticeably smaller than the Mitchell-Hedges skull. But what's even more intriguing is its history, or lack thereof. Unlike the dramatic story surrounding the Mitchell-Hedges skull, This one surfaced in the late 19th century with no clear record of where it came from. It was reportedly acquired from an antique dealer who claimed it was of Aztec origin, but evidence to support that claim has been elusive. Then there's the skull held by the Smithsonian Institution, a massive piece weighing over 30 pounds. Made of milky quartz, it's far larger and less refined than its counterparts. Interestingly, this skull was anonymously donated to the Smithsonian in the early 1990s, accompanied by a note claiming it was an Aztec artifact. Yet, upon closer inspection, experts noted tool marks that suggested modern manufacturing techniques, casting serious doubt on its ancient origins. Across the Atlantic, the Musée du Quai Branly in Paris holds yet another crystal skull. This one is unique for its intricate carvings and the use of smoky quartz, giving it a darker, more mysterious appearance. Like the others, its provenance is murky, with no definitive evidence linking it to any specific ancient culture. When you compare these skulls to the Mitchell-Hedges skull, the differences are striking. The Mitchell-Hedges skull is renowned for its near-perfect craftsmanship, with a removable jaw and a level of detail that seems almost otherworldly. The others, while impressive, lack that same level of refinement. Yet they all share one glaring similarity: their origins are shrouded in mystery. None have a clear, verifiable history that ties them directly to ancient civilizations. This lack of provenance has fueled debates about their authenticity. Are these skulls genuine artifacts from lost cultures, or are they clever forgeries created to capitalize on the fascination with ancient mysteries? To answer this, scientists have turned to modern technology. Using advanced tools like electron microscopes and spectrometry, they've analyzed the crystal structures and tool marks on these skulls. What they've found has only deepened the mystery. While some show signs of modern tools, others have features that are harder to explain. As we dive deeper into the scientific investigations, one thing becomes clear: the story of the crystal skulls is far from over. Each discovery raises new questions, and each question leads us closer to understanding whether these enigmatic artifacts are relics of the past or products of a more recent imagination. So, what happens when science meets mystery? When it comes to crystal skulls, researchers have turned to some of the most advanced tools available to uncover their secrets. Microscopic examination, for instance, has revealed tiny, precise marks on the surface of many skulls, marks that don't match the hand-carving techniques used by ancient artisans. Instead, these patterns suggest the use of modern tools like rotary wheels and diamond-tipped drills, which leave behind distinct mechanical traces. But the analysis doesn't stop there. X-ray diffraction has been used to study the internal structure of the crystal, revealing inconsistencies in the way the material was shaped. Spectroscopy, on the other hand, has helped identify the specific type of quartz used, often pointing to sources that were accessible in the 19th century rather than ancient times. Together, these methods paint a picture that's hard to ignore. Many of the crystal skulls we see today were likely crafted in the modern era, not by pre-Columbian civilizations. Still, this raises an intriguing question. If most crystal skulls are modern creations, could any of them truly be ancient? Dating these artifacts is notoriously difficult. Crystal doesn't decay or change over time in ways that allow for easy carbon dating. And without clear historical records, it's almost impossible to trace their origins definitively. This leaves us with a tantalizing gap in the story, a gap that keeps the mystery alive, even as science continues to shed light on the truth. So, what's next? How do we navigate the challenges of dating these enigmatic objects, and what might future discoveries reveal about their origins? Determining the age of crystal skulls is no simple task. Unlike artifacts made from organic materials like wood or bone, crystal skulls are carved from quartz, a mineral that doesn't contain carbon. This means traditional dating methods such as carbon dating are completely out of the question. So how do experts even begin to figure out how old these mysterious objects are? One approach is to examine the surface of the skulls for signs of weathering or erosion. Over time, even the hardest materials like quartz can show subtle changes caused by environmental factors. However, this method has its limitations. Weathering patterns can vary depending on where and how the skull was stored, making it difficult to draw definitive conclusions. Additionally, some believe that ancient artisans might have intentionally aged the surface to give the skulls a more ancient appearance, further muddying the waters. Another clue lies in the tool marks left behind during the carving process. If researchers can identify the techniques and tools used, they might be able to link the skulls to a specific time period or culture. But here's the catch: quartz is incredibly hard, and working with it requires specialized tools. Some argue that the precision of these carvings suggests the use of modern technology, while others point to ancient Mesoamerican cultures known for their advanced lapidary skills. The debate over the age of crystal skulls has led to a fascinating divide among experts. Some insist these artifacts are ancient relics, possibly tied to lost civilizations or even extraterrestrial contact. Others argue they're much more recent creations, perhaps crafted in the 19th century to capitalize on the public's fascination with the mysterious and the occult. Without a smoking gun, the true origins of these skulls remain shrouded in uncertainty. This lack of consensus opens the door to a deeper question: why were these crystal skulls made in the first place? To answer that, we need to look at the cultural and historical context surrounding them. Could they have been ceremonial objects, symbols of power, or even tools for divination? As we explore these possibilities, the story of the crystal skulls becomes not just about their age, but about the human fascination with the unknown and the enduring allure of mystery. The ancient Mesoamerican civilizations, particularly the Maya and Aztec, were master craftsmen when it came to working with hard stones. Their skill in carving materials like jade and obsidian is nothing short of extraordinary. These artisans created intricate jewelry, ceremonial objects, and even tools with remarkable precision, often using rudimentary tools like stone hammers, wooden drills, and abrasive sands. Jade, in particular, held deep spiritual significance for these cultures, symbolizing life, fertility, and power. The level of detail in their carvings, ranging from delicate figurines to elaborate masks, demonstrates a profound understanding of their materials and an almost supernatural patience. But here's where things get interesting. While these civilizations were undoubtedly skilled, there's no evidence in the archaeological record that they ever crafted crystal skulls. Not a single crystal skull has been definitively linked to ancient Mesoamerican sites. This raises a critical question. If they were capable of such intricate work, why don't we find any crystal skulls among their artifacts? The answer might lie in the properties of the materials themselves. Crystal, especially clear quartz, is far more brittle and challenging to work with than jade or obsidian. While it's possible that ancient artisans could have experimented with crystal, the absence of such objects in their known body of work suggests it wasn't a priority, or perhaps it wasn't even within their technological reach. So, how did crystal skulls become so closely tied to these civilizations in the modern imagination? This association seems to be more about mystery and storytelling than historical fact. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, as interest in ancient Mesoamerica grew, crystal skulls began to appear in private collections and museums, often accompanied by claims of their ancient origins. Yet many of these skulls have since been scrutinized by experts, and their supposed ancient provenance has been called into question. This leads us to a fascinating crossroads. If crystal skulls weren't actually created by the Maya or Aztec, where did they come from, and why do they continue to captivate us today? The answers might lie not in the distant past, but in the more recent history of art, archaeology, and even the human desire to connect with the unknown. Now, let's turn our attention to a figure whose name is deeply intertwined with the mystery of the crystal skulls, Eugène Boban. A 19th century French antiquarian, Boban was no ordinary collector or dealer. He was a man with a reputation for navigating the shadowy world of rare artifacts, often blurring the line between genuine antiquities and cleverly crafted forgeries. Known for his connections to the art market, Boban became a key player in the trade of Mesoamerican artifacts, including the enigmatic crystal skulls. But here's where things get intriguing. Many believe that Boban wasn't just selling ancient relics. He might have been involved in their creation. During the 1800s, Europe was captivated by the exotic and the mysterious. Collectors and museums were eager to acquire artifacts from distant lands, particularly those tied to ancient civilizations like the Aztecs and the Maya. This demand created a lucrative market for items that could tell a story, whether they were real or not, and Boban, with his sharp business sense, seemed to understand this perfectly. He supplied crystal skulls to wealthy buyers and institutions, often presenting them as genuine pre-Columbian artifacts. But here's the twist. Experts now suspect that many of these skulls were actually crafted in Europe, perhaps in workshops in Germany or France, designed to satisfy the growing appetite for these so-called exotic treasures. Boban's role raises fascinating questions about authenticity and intent. Was he a master manipulator, intentionally deceiving his clients, or was he simply a product of his time, caught up in the fervor of an era that prized curiosity over credibility? Regardless of his motives, Boban's legacy is undeniable. His involvement in the crystal skull trade has left a lasting mark on how we perceive these objects today. From the 19th century to the modern era, crystal skulls have continued to capture imaginations. What began as curiosities for European collectors eventually found their way into popular culture, becoming symbols of mystery and intrigue. But how did these objects transition from the hands of antiquarians like Boban to the center of global fascination? That's a story we'll explore next as we dive into the modern resurgence of interest in crystal skulls and their place in contemporary mythology. The mystique of crystal skulls didn't just emerge from ancient legends, it was supercharged by their journey into popular culture. In the late 19th century, these enigmatic artifacts began appearing in exhibitions across Europe and the Americas, often presented as relics of lost civilizations. Their striking appearance, translucent, intricately carved, and seemingly imbued with an otherworldly glow, captured imaginations immediately. But it wasn't just their physical beauty that fascinated people, it was the stories woven around them. Tales of psychic powers, alien origins, and connections to ancient wisdom turned crystal skulls into symbols of mystery and intrigue, and as their fame grew, so did the legends surrounding them. By the 20th century, crystal skulls had become cultural icons. They were no longer just artifacts, they were symbols of the unknown, gateways to hidden knowledge, and even objects of spiritual reverence. This was especially true in the New Age movement, where they were embraced as tools for healing, meditation, and connecting with higher realms. Books and documentaries amplified their allure, presenting theories that ranged from the plausible to the fantastical. But perhaps the most significant boost to their fame came from Hollywood. In 2008, the fourth Indiana Jones film, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, brought these artifacts to the big screen, blending adventure, archaeology, and science fiction into a blockbuster narrative. Suddenly, crystal skulls weren't just curiosities, they were pop culture legends. Yet, as their popularity soared, something interesting happened. the line between fact and fiction began to blur. The stories overshadowed the science, and the allure of the unknown often took precedence over the evidence. Many experts have questioned the authenticity of these artifacts, pointing to inconsistencies in their craftsmanship and the lack of historical records linking them to ancient civilizations. But for many, the mystery is more compelling than the facts. This raises a fascinating question. Why do we cling to the idea of crystal skulls as relics of a lost world, even when the evidence suggests otherwise? The answer might lie in the power of belief and perception. Belief, after all, has a unique way of shaping reality. When something captures our imagination, it becomes more than just an object. It becomes a story, a symbol, a part of our collective consciousness. And crystal skulls, with their mix of beauty, mystery, and mysticism, have become exactly that. They remind us that sometimes the stories we tell are just as powerful as the truths we uncover. And as we move forward, it's worth exploring how these stories continue to shape our understanding of history, science, and the unknown. The allure of crystal skulls goes far beyond their physical form. At their core, these enigmatic objects tap into something deeply human, our innate desire to believe in the extraordinary. Whether it's the idea that they hold ancient wisdom, supernatural powers, or even extraterrestrial origins, crystal skulls have become symbols of mystery and wonder. But why do these beliefs persist, even in the face of scientific evidence that suggests many of these artifacts are modern creations? The answer lies in the power of belief itself. Human beings are meaning makers. We're wired to look for patterns, to find significance in the unknown, and to fill in the gaps when information is scarce. This is where confirmation bias comes into play. Once someone believes in the mystical qualities of a crystal skull, they tend to focus on evidence that supports their belief while dismissing anything that contradicts it. A chance coincidence, a strange dream, or even a feeling of energy when holding a skull can feel like proof to someone who already believes. This isn't just about crystal skulls, it's a universal human tendency. We see it in how people interpret everything from horoscopes to conspiracy theories. Culturally, crystal skulls have also been shaped by stories that resonate across generations. From tales of lost civilizations like Atlantis to legends of ancient Mesoamerican rituals, these narratives give the skulls a sense of depth and history. Even when archaeologists and scientists debunk these stories, the myths often endure. Why? Because they speak to something deeper than facts. They tap into our fascination with the unknown and our longing for connection to something greater than ourselves. But here's an intriguing question. Does the truth about crystal skulls really matter more than the stories they inspire? For some, the mystery is the point. The idea that these objects might hold secrets waiting to be unlocked is far more compelling than a mundane explanation. In a world where so much is explained and quantified, crystal skulls offer a rare opportunity to indulge in wonder and imagination. They remind us that not everything needs to be solved or understood to be meaningful. So, whether you're a skeptic or a believer, the enduring fascination with crystal skulls reveals something important about human nature. They're not just objects, they're mirrors reflecting our hopes, fears, and endless curiosity. And perhaps in that sense, their true power lies not in what they are, but in what they inspire us to imagine. One of the most fascinating and controversial aspects of the crystal skull phenomenon is the undeniable evidence of hoaxes and forgeries. While some enthusiasts continue to believe in their ancient origins, a closer look reveals that many of these skulls are far from what they claim to be. In fact, several high-profile cases have exposed these artifacts as cleverly crafted modern creations, designed to captivate collectors, museums, and the public alike. Take, for example, the infamous Smithsonian skull, once thought to be a relic of an ancient civilization. After extensive analysis, researchers discovered that it was actually made in the 20th century using modern tools and techniques. The skull's smooth surfaces and precise details, once seen as proof of advanced ancient craftsmanship, turned out to be the work of skilled artisans with access to contemporary equipment. This revelation not only shattered the myth surrounding the artifact, but also raised questions about the authenticity of other crystal skulls. But why would someone go to such lengths to create a fake? The motivations are as varied as the skulls themselves. For some, it was purely financial. Crystal skulls, especially those with mysterious backstories, became highly sought-after items in the antiquities market, fetching staggering prices. For others, the allure of fame played a role. Crafting a convincing forgery and passing it off as a genuine artifact could bring notoriety, especially if it fooled experts or ended up in a prestigious museum. And then there's the sheer thrill of deception, creating something so convincing that it sparks debates and fuels legends for decades. The ethical implications of these hoaxes are worth considering. When a fake artifact is presented as real, it doesn't just mislead collectors, it can distort our understanding of history. Museums, scholars, and the public invest time, money, and trust in these objects only to discover they've been duped. Worse still, the perpetuation of these myths can overshadow genuine archaeological discoveries, diverting attention away from real historical treasures. As we peel back the layers of these deceptions, it's hard not to wonder, what does the prevalence of forgeries say about our fascination with the unknown? Are we so eager to believe in the extraordinary that we overlook the evidence staring us in the face? These questions lead us to the heart of the crystal skull mystery, where legend and reality collide in ways that challenge our assumptions and spark endless debate. The ethical debate surrounding crystal skulls is as intriguing as the artifacts themselves. Should museums and institutions continue to display objects whose origins are shrouded in mystery and at times outright fabrication? It's a question that forces us to confront the balance between preserving cultural intrigue and upholding academic integrity. On one hand, crystal skulls captivate the public imagination, drawing crowds eager to glimpse these enigmatic objects. But on the other, their uncertain or even fraudulent origins raise serious questions about the role of museums as trusted sources of education and truth. Many of these skulls, like the famous Mitchell-Hedges skull, have been scrutinized by experts who argue they were likely crafted in the 19th or early 20th centuries, rather than being relics of ancient civilizations. Yet they continue to be displayed as mysterious artifacts, often with little clarity about their questionable history. This lack of transparency can mislead visitors, leaving them with a distorted understanding of the past. Should museums take a firmer stance, perhaps relegating these objects to exhibits focused on modern myths and hoaxes, rather than presenting them as historical treasures? The debate also touches on the broader issue of cultural sensitivity. Some argue that displaying objects of dubious origin perpetuates a form of exploitation, especially when they're marketed as sacred artifacts tied to indigenous cultures. This raises another ethical layer. Are we respecting the cultures these skulls are often associated with, or are we commodifying them for entertainment? Museums have a responsibility to educate, not just entertain, and that means being upfront about what we know and what we don't. But what if modern technology could help resolve some of these uncertainties? Advances in scientific analysis, like scanning electron microscopy and spectroscopy, offer new ways to examine these artifacts in unprecedented detail. By studying the tools and techniques used to create them, researchers might finally uncover whether these skulls are ancient masterpieces or clever modern forgeries. This fusion of science and history could provide the clarity needed to make more informed decisions about how and if these objects should be displayed. It's a reminder that the story of crystal skulls is still being written, and the ethical questions surrounding them are far from settled. The mystery of crystal skulls has captivated us for centuries, but could modern technology finally shed light on their origins? In recent years, tools like three-dimensional scanning and artificial intelligence have opened up entirely new ways to study these enigmatic artifacts. Researchers are now able to examine every microscopic detail of a crystal skull, mapping its surface and analyzing its structure with unprecedented precision. This has sparked a wave of excitement in the scientific community, as these technologies could hold the key to unlocking the secrets of who made these objects and when. One intriguing project involves using advanced scanning techniques to compare the craftsmanship of crystal skulls with artifacts from known ancient cultures. By examining tool marks and carving methods, scientists hope to determine whether these skulls were created using traditional techniques or more modern tools. Some early findings suggest that certain skulls may have been shaped with rotary tools, which wouldn't have existed in pre-Columbian Mesoamerica, where many of these artifacts are said to originate. This raises fascinating questions about their true origins. Are they ancient relics, or could they be elaborate hoaxes from a later era? Artificial intelligence is also playing a role in this quest for answers. By feeding data from crystal skulls into machine learning models, researchers can identify patterns and anomalies that might be invisible to the human eye. For example, AI can analyze the composition of the quartz used in the skulls, cross-referencing it with geological data to pinpoint where the material might have been sourced. This could help determine whether the crystal came from a region known to ancient civilizations or from a modern quarry. Ongoing research projects around the world are tackling these questions head-on. Teams of archaeologists, geologists, and technologists are collaborating to piece together the story of crystal skulls, blending cutting-edge science with historical detective work. While we don't yet have definitive answers, the progress being made is undeniably exciting. Each new discovery brings us closer to understanding whether these objects are genuine artifacts from a lost civilization or masterful creations from a more recent time. The implications of these findings extend far beyond the skulls themselves. If modern technology reveals that some crystal skulls are indeed ancient, it could reshape our understanding of the cultures that created them, suggesting a level of craftsmanship and knowledge that challenges our current historical narratives. On the other hand, if they're proven to be modern forgeries, it raises questions about why these objects were made and why they've captured our imaginations for so long. Either way, the quest to uncover the truth about crystal skulls reminds us that history is often more complex and more fascinating than it first appears. But what do crystal skulls truly tell us about how we connect with history? These enigmatic artifacts, whether real or fabricated, reveal something profound about human nature, the desire to find meaning in the unknown. For centuries, people have been drawn to objects that seem to hold secrets of the past, and crystal skulls are no exception. They tap into our fascination with the mysterious, offering a tangible link to ancient civilizations and lost worlds. But here's the question: does this fascination sometimes cloud our judgment? The allure of crystal skulls often lies in the stories we attach to them. When faced with something so beautifully crafted and shrouded in mystery, it's easy to let imagination take the lead. This isn't just about crystal skulls, it's about how we approach history itself. Do we seek evidence and facts, or do we gravitate toward the stories that resonate with our hopes and beliefs? The study of these artifacts forces us to confront how easily we can interpret evidence through the lens of what we want to believe, rather than what the evidence actually supports. This is where critical thinking becomes essential. Scientific inquiry doesn't just debunk myths, it helps us understand why those myths exist in the first place. By examining crystal skulls with a skeptical eye, researchers have uncovered truths about their origins, some dating back to the 19th century rather than ancient times. Yet, even as science sheds light on their history, the cultural and spiritual significance of these objects continues to grow. They've become symbols of mystery, power, and connection to the past, inspiring everything from museum exhibits to New Age practices. Speaking of modern spirituality, crystal skulls have carved out a unique place in contemporary culture. For many, they're not just artifacts, they're tools for meditation, healing, and spiritual exploration. This blending of ancient mystery and modern belief shows how artifacts can evolve beyond their original context, taking on new meanings for new generations. Whether you see them as historical curiosities or spiritual objects, crystal skulls remind us that the past is never truly fixed, it's shaped by how we choose to interpret it. Crystal skulls have long captured the imagination of those drawn to the mystical and the unknown, but nowhere is their allure more pronounced than in the realm of New Age spirituality. Within this movement, these enigmatic objects are revered not just as artifacts, but as powerful tools for transformation. For many, crystal skulls are seen as conduits of energy, capable of amplifying meditation practices, aiding in emotional healing, and even connecting individuals to higher states of consciousness. Some believe that these skulls hold the wisdom of ancient civilizations, acting as bridges to forgotten knowledge and spiritual realms beyond our everyday perception. This spiritual interpretation is rooted in the idea that crystal, as a material, carries unique vibrational properties. Advocates suggest that the skull shape, a universally recognized symbol of the mind and consciousness, enhances these properties, creating a potent instrument for personal and collective growth. Stories abound of people experiencing profound sensations, tingling energy, vivid visions, or a deep sense of peace when meditating with or near a crystal skull. For New Age practitioners, these experiences are often seen as evidence of the skull's mystical power. Yet, this spiritual reverence stands in stark contrast to the skepticism of the scientific community. Researchers and archaeologists have raised significant doubts about the authenticity of many crystal skulls, pointing to modern tool marks and manufacturing techniques that suggest they were crafted far more recently than claimed. This tension between belief and evidence only adds to the intrigue surrounding these objects. Are they ancient relics imbued with otherworldly energy, or are they modern creations that have taken on a life of their own through the power of human imagination? Regardless of where one stands on this debate, there's no denying the cultural impact of crystal skulls. They've become symbols of mystery, embodying humanity's fascination with the unknown and our desire to connect with something greater than ourselves. Whether viewed as spiritual tools or captivating curiosities, crystal skulls continue to spark curiosity and conversation, inviting us to explore the boundaries between the tangible and the transcendent. Crystal skulls have long captivated the human imagination, not just as objects of beauty but as powerful symbols steeped in meaning. In ancient cultures, they often represented the cycle of life and death, embodying the idea that life is eternal yet ever-changing. The translucent nature of the crystal itself seemed to mirror this duality, solid yet fragile, opaque yet capable of revealing light. These skulls were more than just artifacts. They were tools for reflection, meditation, and connection to the spiritual realm. For many, they symbolized the human quest for knowledge, a tangible reminder of the mysteries that lie beyond what we can see and touch. In modern times, the symbolism of crystal skulls has evolved but remains deeply tied to themes of exploration and discovery. They've become icons of the unknown, representing humanity's unending curiosity about the past and our place in the universe. Whether viewed as relics of lost civilizations or as modern creations imbued with mystique, crystal skulls continue to spark fascination. Their enigmatic nature invites us to ask questions, to wonder about the stories they might tell if they could speak. This enduring allure has made them a recurring motif in art, literature, and even pop culture, where they often serve as gateways to adventure or hidden truths. But what is it about these objects that makes them so compelling? Part of it lies in the stories we tell about them. From ancient legends to modern myths, crystal skulls have been woven into narratives that blur the line between history and imagination. These stories shape how we perceive them, transforming them from mere objects into symbols of mystery and possibility. They remind us that the human mind thrives on wonder, on the idea that there's always more to uncover, more to understand. And perhaps that's their greatest power, not just as artifacts, but as vessels for the stories we tell ourselves about who we are and where we're headed. From the very beginning, storytelling has been at the heart of the crystal skull phenomenon. These enigmatic objects have inspired tales that stretch from ancient Mesoamerican legends to modern-day conspiracy theories. But why do these stories hold such power over us? The answer lies in our innate desire to make sense of the unknown. Stories give shape to mysteries, weaving together fragments of history, speculation, and imagination into something that feels tangible, even when the truth remains elusive. Take, for example, the legends that claim crystal skulls were crafted by ancient civilizations like the Aztecs or the Maya. These tales often describe the skulls as tools of immense power, capable of healing, divination, or even communicating with otherworldly beings. Such stories are captivating not just because of their grandeur, but because they tap into a universal human longing, the hope that there's more to our world than meets the eye. Yet, as enchanting as these narratives are, they also pose a challenge. How do we separate the threads of myth from the fabric of historical fact? This is where the role of storytelling becomes both a blessing and a cautionary tale. On one hand, stories breathe life into the past, allowing us to connect with ancient cultures on a deeply emotional level. They spark curiosity and inspire us to explore further. But on the other hand, they can blur the lines between reality and fiction, creating a fog of ambiguity that makes it harder to uncover the truth. The crystal skulls, for instance, have been at the center of countless theories, some suggesting they're remnants of lost civilizations, others claiming they're evidence of extraterrestrial contact. While these ideas are undeniably intriguing, they often overshadow the more grounded research that seeks to understand the skull's true origins. So, what can we learn from the way storytelling has shaped the narrative around crystal skulls? For one, it reminds us of the importance of critical thinking. While it's easy to get swept up in the allure of a good story, it's equally vital to ask questions, examine evidence, and approach historical mysteries with a balanced perspective. The crystal skull phenomenon isn't just about the artifacts themselves, it's about how we, as a society, choose to interpret them. And in that process, we uncover not just the mysteries of the past, but also something profound about ourselves, our capacity for wonder, our hunger for meaning, and our need to find connections in the unknown. The crystal skull phenomenon is more than just a collection of intriguing artifacts. It's a mirror, reflecting some of the most fundamental aspects of human nature. At its core, this mystery teaches us about our insatiable curiosity, our desire to connect with the past, and the ways we grapple with the unknown. But it also highlights something equally important: the vital role of skepticism and critical thinking in separating fact from fiction. Throughout history, the allure of the crystal skulls has captivated countless people, from amateur enthusiasts to seasoned researchers. Their beauty and the stories surrounding them are undeniably magnetic. Yet, as we've seen, not all that glitters is ancient or even authentic. The journey to uncover the truth about these objects has been a masterclass in the importance of evidence-based inquiry. Without rigorous scientific examination, we risk being swayed by emotion, legend, or even outright fabrication. this phenomenon also raises an interesting question. Why are we so drawn to mysteries like the crystal skulls? Perhaps it's because they offer a tantalizing glimpse into worlds we can't fully understand, worlds where the lines between reality and myth blur. But while mystery can inspire wonder, it can also cloud our judgment. The danger lies in letting the allure of the unknown overshadow the pursuit of verifiable knowledge. It's a reminder that while stories and legends have their place, they should always be approached with a healthy dose of critical thinking. Looking ahead, the future of crystal skull research offers an exciting opportunity to apply these lessons. Advances in technology and new methods of analysis could provide deeper insights into these enigmatic objects. But even as we explore their origins, we must remain vigilant, ensuring that our fascination doesn't lead us to accept claims without evidence. After all, the true value of the crystal skulls may not lie in their supposed ancient powers, but in what they teach us about our own humanity, our thirst for discovery, our need for wonder, and our responsibility to seek the truth. What's next for these captivating artifacts? Will future discoveries confirm their origins, or will they remain a tantalizing mystery? Only time and science will tell. As we peer into the future of crystal skull research, one thing becomes clear: the mystery is far from over. With each passing year, new technologies and methods emerge that could finally help us unravel the truth behind these enigmatic artifacts. Imagine the possibilities. Advanced imaging techniques like three-dimensional scanning and spectroscopy could reveal hidden details in the crystal, offering clues about their origins and craftsmanship. These tools, once reserved for high-tech labs, are becoming more accessible, opening doors for researchers around the world to study these artifacts in unprecedented ways. But it's not just about technology. The future of crystal skull research will likely depend on collaboration across disciplines. Historians, archaeologists, geologists, and even materials scientists will need to work together, pooling their expertise to piece together the puzzle. Think about it. A geologist might analyze the crystal to determine its source, while an archaeologist examines the cultural context in which the skulls were supposedly created. Together, they could uncover insights that no single field could achieve alone. There's also the tantalizing possibility of discovering new evidence, perhaps an ancient manuscript, a previously unknown site, or even another crystal skull that could provide definitive answers. Such a find could finally settle the debate over whether these artifacts are genuine relics of lost civilizations or elaborate hoaxes. Until then, the mystery continues to captivate us, fueling both skepticism and wonder. As we reflect on what we've explored today, from the legends surrounding crystal skulls to the scientific challenges of verifying their authenticity, it's clear that this topic is more than just a historical curiosity. It's a testament to our enduring fascination with the unknown and our relentless drive to uncover the truth. Whether you're a skeptic, a believer, or simply someone intrigued by the mysteries of the past, the story of crystal skulls reminds us that history is full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. And who knows, the next breakthrough could be just around the corner. As we bring together the threads of this fascinating journey, let's revisit what we've uncovered about the enigmatic crystal skulls. These artifacts, often linked to ancient Mesoamerican civilizations, have long captured imaginations with their intricate craftsmanship and aura of mystery. Yet, when we turn to the scientific evidence, the story becomes far more complex. Advanced analysis, including electron microscopy and X-ray diffraction, has revealed that many of these skulls show signs of modern tool marks, suggesting they were likely crafted in the 19th or early 20th century rather than by ancient hands. But the intrigue doesn't end there. Beyond the scientific debate, crystal skulls hold profound cultural significance. For some, they are sacred objects imbued with spiritual power, tied to myths of lost civilizations or even extraterrestrial origins. For others, they are enduring symbols of human creativity and the allure of the unknown. This duality between skepticism and wonder is what keeps the crystal skull phenomenon alive in our collective imagination. What makes these artifacts truly remarkable is the way they challenge our understanding of history, science, and belief. They remind us that not every mystery has a clear answer, and sometimes the questions we ask are just as important as the truths we uncover. The crystal skulls invite us to explore the boundaries between fact and legend, between the tangible and the intangible. And this brings us to a broader reflection. What does our fascination with crystal skulls say about us? Perhaps it's a testament to our enduring desire to connect with the past, to find meaning in the unexplained, and to keep the sense of wonder alive. In a world where so much is known, mysteries like these remind us that there's still room for discovery, for imagination, and for stories that transcend time. So, as we close this chapter, let's not just think of crystal skulls as objects of debate, but as mirrors reflecting our own curiosity and thirst for understanding. What do you think? Are they relics of a forgotten world or simply masterful creations of a more recent era? The answer, much like the skulls themselves, may lie somewhere in between, waiting for us to piece it together. Crystal skulls have a way of pulling us into their enigmatic world, don't they? Even as their origins remain cloaked in uncertainty, they've managed to hold a firm grip on our collective imagination. What is it about these mysterious artifacts that keeps us coming back for more? Perhaps it's the way they seem to exist at the intersection of history, myth, and the unexplained. They challenge us to ask questions not just about where they came from, but about why we're so drawn to the unknown in the first place. There's something deeply human about our fascination with objects like crystal skulls. They represent more than just relics. They're symbols of our endless curiosity, our desire to uncover secrets that seem just out of reach. Whether you believe they're ancient tools of wisdom, elaborate hoaxes, or something in between, their allure lies in their ability to spark wonder and debate. They remind us that sometimes the journey of questioning is just as important as the answers we seek. Yet, as we explore these mysteries, it's crucial to strike a balance. Curiosity is a powerful force, but it's equally important to approach these stories with a healthy dose of skepticism. The world of crystal skulls is filled with claims that range from the plausible to the outlandish, and separating fact from fiction requires both an open mind and a critical eye. By embracing this duality, our sense of wonder, and our need for evidence, we can engage with these mysteries in a way that's both thrilling and grounded. So, what's the significance of crystal skulls in the grand scheme of things? They're more than just artifacts, they're mirrors reflecting our own fascination with the unexplained. They remind us that history is often a tapestry woven with threads of fact and legend, and that sometimes the most compelling stories are the ones that leave room for interpretation. Whether they're real or legend, crystal skulls have etched themselves into our cultural consciousness, inviting us to keep exploring, questioning, and marveling at the mysteries that surround us. Crystal skulls, whether ancient artifacts or modern creations, hold a unique place in our collective imagination. They are more than just objects of intrigue. They are symbols of humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown. Throughout history, these enigmatic relics have sparked curiosity, debate, and even controversy, serving as a bridge between the tangible and the mystical. For some, they represent lost civilizations and untold secrets. For others, they are a reminder of our innate desire to seek meaning in the unexplained. What makes crystal skulls so captivating isn't just their beauty or craftsmanship, it's the stories they carry. They challenge us to question what we know and to explore what lies beyond the boundaries of our understanding. In a way, they mirror our own journey as a species, always searching, always wondering, always striving to uncover the truth. Whether these skulls are remnants of an ancient culture or elaborate hoaxes, they remind us that the pursuit of knowledge is as important as the answers we find along the way. But there's another layer to their significance. Crystal skulls also teach us about the power of belief. They show how objects can inspire awe, spark creativity, and even shape cultures. They remind us that history is not just about facts and dates. It's about the stories we tell and the meanings we attach to the world around us. In this sense, the crystal skulls are not just relics of the past. They are mirrors reflecting our own hopes, fears, and dreams. As we continue to investigate these mysteries, it's important to approach them with both curiosity and caution. While the allure of the unknown is undeniable, we must also remain grounded in critical thinking and evidence-based research. The crystal skulls challenge us to balance wonder with wisdom, to explore without losing sight of what we can learn from the journey itself. So, what do crystal skulls mean to you? Do they spark your curiosity, or do they leave you skeptical? Whether you see them as historical treasures, cultural icons, or simply fascinating objects, one thing is certain: they invite us to keep asking questions and to keep exploring the mysteries that surround us. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What draws you to these enigmatic artifacts, and what do you think they might reveal about our shared human story? Now that we've explored the fascinating world of crystal skulls, their origins, the legends surrounding them, and the debates over their authenticity, we want to hear from you. Do you believe these ancient artifacts are genuine relics of a lost civilization? Or do you think they're cleverly crafted hoaxes? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. If this topic has sparked your curiosity, there's so much more to discover. Dive deeper by checking out books like The Mystery of the Crystal Skulls or documentaries that explore the science and stories behind these enigmatic objects. Many museums around the world also feature crystal skulls in their collections, offering a chance to see them up close and form your own conclusions. And if you're passionate about uncovering the secrets of the past, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're always exploring new historical mysteries, from lost civilizations to ancient artifacts, and we'd love for you to join us on this journey. Before we wrap up, here's a question to leave you thinking. What other historical mysteries do you think deserve closer investigation? Let us know. Your ideas might just inspire our next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure. So, where does this leave us in the search for answers about ancient crystal skulls? After exploring their origins, the myths surrounding them, and the ongoing debates between believers and skeptics, one thing becomes clear: the truth is as mysterious as the skulls themselves. These enigmatic artifacts exist in a fascinating space between myth and science, where every discovery raises new questions. While some see them as ancient relics of lost civilizations, others argue they're masterful hoaxes designed to captivate our imaginations. What's undeniable is that crystal skulls have become a symbol of humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown. They challenge us to balance curiosity with skepticism, to question what we think we know, and to keep searching for evidence, even when the answers remain elusive. In the end, whether these skulls are real artifacts or elaborate legends, they serve as a powerful reminder. The past is not just a collection of facts, but a tapestry of stories waiting to be unraveled. And perhaps that's where their true value lies. They invite us to explore, to wonder, and to never stop asking questions. After all, isn't that what makes history so endlessly fascinating? The mysteries, the debates, the stories, they're all part of what keeps us coming back for more. And who knows, maybe one day we'll uncover the truth behind these mesmerizing crystal skulls. Until then, they remain one of history's most captivating enigmas, reminding us that the past is never quite as simple as it seems.